Ooh,
Okay.
pretty.
Welcome back to Dumb and Broke. I'm Brian.
And I'm Chelsea.
And today we have another guest, our first repeat guest.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hey, y'all.
Y'all might remember her from last season. Well, not last season.
Season one.
Yeah,
Season one. Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure that episode was named Nicki Minaj Raised a Generation, which is kind of full circle because we're going to Nicki Minaj next month.
That's right. That's right. She raised us.
Yes, she really did. But do you remember anything that we talked about in that episode?
The only thing I remember is that I was talking about wanting to sell my feet.
Oh, yes.
Which is still on the table, y'all. If you're
Yeah, she has a wedding that she's
trying to raise money for.
so you probably mean that now more than ever.
So what
Yeah.
color would you like? You can paint it any color.
Exactly.
Design, you want jewel.
Mhm.
We've talked about this too before.
Oh, would absolutely sell my feet.
because
It's so, I feel like it's one of those things that nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know.
but I'm just so confused.
Who's
because
going to know?
Exactly. They're not going to know.
how are they gonna? What is that? Is that?
It's like they're never going to.
Oh yeah.
They're never going to know.
How are they gonna know, or how are they gonna find out?
Like, no one's going to know it's my feet. So I feel a little okay.
But my thing is like people always say like sell your feet pics, like it's a real thing.
But it's like where?
I don't know a single.
to
Feet Finder.
But do you know anyone who is actually using Feet Finder and making money?
I know of people that are making a lot of money, but it's really hard to gain a following because it's like not one of those things. Because a lot of people gain more of a following when you put your face in it, or like they're
Yeah.
like holding their feet up and like things like that.
Yeah.
But so
They're really bendy in their feet or whatever.
when they're
Yeah.
doing a little acrobatics, and
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I need to figure that out.
So get more flexible.
Well, Stephanie, welcome back.
thank you.
And fun fact for all you listeners, Stephanie was actually asked to be the co-host of Dumb and Broke before Chelsea was.
Are you bringing beef?
So Chelsea and Stephanie don't like each other. So we're gonna.
She's the rebound, and it's me. I'm here to take her job.
This feels like Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion.
This is a setup.
This is a setup.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
here to
yeah.
beat your ass.
Okay, well,
How fucked up?
my face is red.
Could you imagine if
How
we were really-
fucked up if I was just like, Chelsea, actually, like, can you leave? And
We're actually
Honestly,
here to let you
it's
know.
8:30 p.m. You know I would be like,
thank God.
later. You guys enjoy.
Thank you.
No, but yeah, when I was planning to do a second season, I toyed with the idea of having a co-host, and I think you were one of the first people that I just like talked about that, and I was like, "Would you want to do that?" And you were like, "Yeah," but I feel like around that time, especially around that time when I was ready to like actually get started with it, you were traveling so much.
Yeah.
You also don't like live right around the corner.
Yeah.
I feel like a bunch of things, like logistically, it just like wasn't going to work out
Yeah.
for that time period. So
He's like,
So
who could possibly be like second to? Nobody's as funny, but like, who could possibly get a couple views? I guess.
like who would be desperate enough to?
Who would be desperate enough to show up week after week? Doesn't have plans. You know they're going to be home.
She's always gonna
Chelsea.
no, that definitely was not the case. I mean, I feel like after our episode, mine and Chelsea's episode, I felt that was also like
An undeniable chemistry.
yes, I actually was literally going to say that, like a connection was what I was going to say.
Okay.
Because remember, like
A
we
spark,
we
you
didn't know each other that well
No.
when we did our episode. So, but I remember how I felt afterwards, and like I remember talking about it, and we had so much fun. So
I
like,
also remember how
yeah.
I felt.
Yeah.
Was that season 1?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, I'm mixing season 1 and season 2, but
Me too.
season 2 was me and you the whole time. So, and we're on season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is your podcast.
it's our podcast.
Oh, this is my podcast.
Next week it's just Stephanie. Stephanie only. Noah's sitting on the table. That's it.
Stephanie starts her own podcast next week.
I am dumb. I am the dumb of that.
Dumb. Period.
Dumb. That's it.
But we had fun on our episode too. I remember when
Yeah, it
we
was
were
fun.
done, we were like, they always go by so quick, especially with the guests. I've really noticed.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, that was it. But I mean, I've seen I listen and watch podcasts all the time, and some of them go for like 2 hours. But I never watch it like all the way through. Like, who the hell is listening to a podcast for 2 hours?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like if it's someone that I really, really like.
What are your number ones?
I really like Zayn and Heath Unfiltered.
I watch them sometimes.
I like like the stupid podcasts like Tana Mojo and like
Dumb and
BFFs. I don't know about this one. No, but Dumb and Broke too. But like the
Yeah. I like
know?
those too.
Me too. I listen.
Yeah.
I watch Tana's.
I don't want to watch like
Serious shit.
like some like
I don't wanna learn
self-help,
something.
You know? Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
learn anything. I just want it to be like mental like
Same. But I also am not like super in love with like the pop, like heavy pop culture.
no, me
like,
neither.
Like I don't. It depends on who the guest is, but like I'm not a huge fan of call her daddy. I'm not a
don't
big
like it
fan of
either.
it. I don't like. You know what? I was gonna say I hope this never like. No one ever sees this, but you know what? I hope someone does clip this and we can start a little beef. It's fine.
Alex
But
Cooper.
I'm not a fan of her style. Like, I don't think she does like a great job at interviewing people. You can tell that like she has no control. Like, she doesn't ask the questions that people want to know because she's getting these high profile people who their teams are saying, you can't ask this. You
Yeah.
can't ask this. It's like,
for sure.
It's very apparent, you know? So I just feel like maybe it's not her fault then, but I've never enjoyed a single interview.
I
of hers.
also can't stand her like her old partner Sophia.
She has a podcast.
Her voice, like she like talks like this. So she'll be like, "No way, Rally said that," and I'm like, "Shut your mouth!" Like I.
She's
really
still
shut it
so
off.
bitter. You can
Oh,
tell
yeah,
even every time
100%.
she speaks, she's still so bitter.
100%. She
I
always
like
throws
Alex Cooper.
jabs.
Which one's Alex Cooper?
The
The blonde
one.
one.
Call me daddy.
Call
her
her
daddy.
Her daddy. What?
Yeah.
Can you get that right?
I don't know.
It's like one of the top
Yeah.
podcasts.
Call her.
Oh.
daddy.
He's like, what is it?
Yeah.
I know RuPaul is about to be on there, so I will
Yes,
watch that one.
yes,
I
I
will
just
watch
saw
it
that.
for the guest, so
Yeah.
like, I don't care. But yeah, I'm excited for that one
Me too.
Yeah.
because RuPaul is like probably my number one favorite celebrity.
She has on interesting people now. Like she had on Cole Sprouse from
Oh.
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
He's just like smoking cigarettes like a chain smoker. Yeah.
I wouldn't have said like that. Like she has interesting people. Cole Sprouse.
Because nobody ever has a podcast with Cole Sprouse.
Is he smoking a cigarette in the fucking thing?
Mhm.
The whole podcast.
That's so annoying. Like, who are you?
And he has this little like
What?
curl that like
No.
that is Cole Sprouse. And I feel like we all got an idea of it from that podcast. I say that I'm defending her. I haven't listened to her podcast, but I see all the clips. I enjoy the clips.
But it's so weird that she went from being like a total sex podcast to now like interviewing RuPaul. I don't know, like the way that she transitioned from her interviews was kind of crazy if you think about it. Because before it was literally just like all about dating and sex and like all of that, and now she's really asking like hard hitting questions. I feel like,
Yeah, now it's like a talk show.
yeah,
Would you like for us to get there?
I would love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't ever want to be like a pop culture podcast. And I don't know if I set this up when I like signed us up for like Apple and Spotify, but we're under society and culture. And that's exactly, I saw that the other day because someone was showing me like the podcast on their phone. I was like, oh, it's under society and culture. I love that because I feel like that is actually true. Like we kind of talk about like our lives and hopefully that like people can relate to that. And then we, when we talk about controversial opinions, some of them are like really, really stupid, but some of them are just like literally about culture. And I love that. And it's not like sometimes we talk about, Nicki Minaj versus Megan Thee Stallion. We bring up Taylor Swift and all that, but like, that's not like the basis of our podcast.
Yeah.
And
you
I
have
like
a
that.
well-rounded conversation.
Yeah.
Because you talk about everything.
Yeah.
The basis of our podcast is financial literacy and,
And intelligence.
and mental health.
Do you know how many people we got looking into high yield savings accounts after last week's episode?
Really?
2. So hey, we're saving 2 people. You know that quote? It's like, if I can just help one person, we help 2.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. So
You went viral.
We also
baby.
killed Tim McGraw.
let's,
But I also love that we know who actually listened by the people that text us and they're like, Tim McGraw's
McGraw's
alive.
melted.
Yeah.
we need to address that.
Yeah. My friend Cassie was like, you should just put like a little lie in every podcast just to see who's
Oh,
really
to
listening.
see who's really listening.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny. I like that.
But yeah, I'm glad. I don't know who brought that up, but one of you brought that up. We really do need to apologize to Tim McGraw
To Tim and Faith.
and Faith, and do they have kids?
Sure, I'm sure they do.
If not,
I don't
now they
didn't know
just
if he was alive.
She's starting rumors again.
He's got 12. He's got grandkids.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got
He's
kids.
alive and kicking.
I'm actually gonna blame you because I really was like, is he dead? I'm not sure. And you're like, yep, cancer.
Okay, I think we should clarify that it was Toby Keith.
Yes.
Which is like same era, starts with a T, country guy.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
Yeah.
made it clear before, country is not my forte. You've made it clear too, even though I thought you were.
I mean, I like know. I know a thing about a thing.
Yeah. You're from Texas. It's like within your blood.
Yeah, what?
Are you a country girl?
I used to be, because when I first got my car in college, I got a 2001 Toyota Camry, and the only radio station that worked on the car was the country station, and so that's what I would listen to every single day in college, and I really liked it.
So you were
but
She's
forced.
bobbing red so low.
yeah, I fill you up. Let that party. But that's what I was doing on my way to work. But now I don't like some new country songs, but I prefer the like older ones, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Stephanie, what do you think about Beyonce going country?
I like the new song.
This ain't Texas.
Woo!
Hold down.
You like it?
Yeah.
I kind of do too. I mean,
Can you actually sing?
No, but that you sounded good, right?
Sometimes you genuinely. I was like, okay. And guys, this is like
No.
one of those videos where it's like the moment I found out.
Literally.
This is her Lizzie McGuire movie moment. No, you can sing.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
No.
We send each other voice notes. Stephanie and I send each other voice notes of us singing like random things. One of our favorite things is, the transitions in Hannah Montana? Like,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah, like, yeah. We'll just randomly send that. But like, I can never find the key. This bitch always finds the key.
I do be finding the key.
You have really good
Pitch.
Yeah, you're pitch perfect.
I guess I would say that because I feel like I can find the key, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like my voice will like, I can't sing. Long story short, I can't sing.
I think you can.
Well, you
I can
pop in with a
mimic
couple
singing.
notes here and there.
No, I'll tell you what. I can sing when I'm not being serious. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like when I was just imitating a country Beyonce song, I sounded good. But if I like really tried, I couldn't.
So you agree you're really good.
Yeah. You think you're really pretty.
She's like, actually, I knew.
I always knew that I could sing.
You weren't there. I did karaoke on Friday. And I fucking love karaoke. I had to ask on my personal Instagram because I feel like when people ask me like, oh, what are your hobbies? Whenever you're like on a first date or in an interview or whatever, I never know what to say. But I feel like
Same.
I've realized karaoke is like one of my favorite hobbies. I really, really love it. And like, I have this like moment when I'm about to hit the stage. I'm just like, this is my moment. Like this is
You
it.
do have a Lizzie McGuire moment where you flip
Right?
into a star.
Right?
Yeah.
you do.
Wait, me?
Yeah, the very first time I watched you do karaoke, it was Lucky by Britney Spears, and I'll never forget it. I was like,
always does that song.
what happened to Brian? You're like walking to a group of girls, and you, whatever part, have them sing, and then you turn and walk away, and you're just like sashaying into
I probably
the
rehearsed it
distance.
before.
Probably. It wasn't your first time, I'm sure.
Yeah. I've done that a handful of times. Stephanie has been there when I've done that song too. I have a list. I have a note saved in my phone of at least 20 songs. So I'm always prepared for karaoke. Like I have a song and pretty much every genre too.
But I
So-
like that you don't take it seriously. It's for fun.
Yeah.
And I freaking hate people that go to karaoke and are like really trying to get noticed by freaking scouts or something like
Right.
that. Like I hate that.
No, I agree. I take it serious in like an ironic way.
Yeah.
Like because I can't really sing. Like maybe I can carry a tune here and there, but like I'm no singer at
to
all.
you.
Everyone's like, you actually can't.
You
sing
actually
this
really
song."
cannot sing.
It's weird. Like karaoke, like I'm really, really bad when I'm singing in karaoke, but like I record myself and I've heard back. I'm like, wait, why don't I sound like this when I'm in karaoke? For some reason, when I get on that stage at karaoke, it just all.
Well, you're usually a few drinks deep.
I was
would
gonna say.
assume. Yeah, I don't think you've ever. Have you ever done karaoke just like stone sober?
No.
Yeah,
So
That'd
I
be
wouldn't
weird.
call it a hobby.
that makes sense.
Miss Girl. Like that's
Why
not a
not?
hobby.
Why not?
You've only done it drunk. Like you wouldn't go to karaoke sober.
Drinking is a hobby too.
I mean, yeah.
So, do you not think it's a hobby?
Yeah, could be.
You don't think it's a hobby? It's like an activity.
Yeah.
What are your hobbies?
I like
Reading.
Yeah.
I love to read.
I love to read. That's
She
literally
does.
all I freaking do is read. I read and I eat.
Y'all know how I feel about reading, or people who read.
What?
Big reader.
She's a
Heavy
reader.
reader.
No, I have.
Are
no,
you a reader?
I'm a reader.
Yeah.
I love reading.
No,
Yeah.
I just I get the ick when people like to like tell people that they're reading, or when you assume that someone else reads, and like if you ask someone, what are you reading? I find that like pretentious.
I also do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a big like hinged question. Where
Yeah.
people are like, tell me what you're reading. And I'm like, I don't think I'd like
That's
you.
very personal. I
Yeah.
feel like that's personal. I remember I was on a call with my manager once and she asked me like, oh, what do you like to do? And I said, I like to read. And she was like, oh, what book are you reading right now? And I felt so like, ugh, like explaining to her what book I was reading. Not that I'm reading anything bad. It's just like, I feel like that's so personal to me. Like mind your own business.
Well,
Yeah.
then you feel like there's judgment. Like, what if I'm reading some like smutty,
Right.
like love story? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you that, and then you be like, oh, like I also don't want to tell you I'm reading a nonfiction and act like I have a stick up my ass.
Right. Or people judge you too. Like when you're like, oh, I'm reading a fantasy book. They're like, really?
What are you learning from that?
Yeah, exactly. Like go read some self-help.
Yeah.
I haven't read a book in a while. Last book I read was that Carrie Soto one, the tennis
See,
one.
that was a good one.
That was a good one. I enjoyed it.
I really love those kind of books.
I had to like actually like pace myself because I didn't want to like go through it. I could have read it in like 2 days, but I was like, you know what, Brian? I did it in like 2 weeks.
But you were also judgmental about it because you're like, that's not real tennis.
Oh, I definitely was. Yeah, any like true tennis fan like will have a lot of problems with that book. But
Tennis could be a hobby.
Yeah.
okay, I have hobbies.
And you're good.
What are your hobbies?
I love
Working out.
I would not consider that a hobby.
It's actually funny. Like
Don't even really like it.
she doesn't like running, but she ran the whole ass New York City Marathon.
I talked about that a lot in therapy today. We unpacked a lot about running in particular. I'm like, why do I? It was like the whole thing. It sounds so stupid, but I'm like, why do I want to be a runner and also equally hate running so much? But I can't get around it.
I love that you do therapy on the day that we record podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think that I'm like feel great, but I actually feel more unhinged than ever.
I would love to
that.
unpack that after the break. Chelsea, do you want to unpack that a little bit?
Why I feel, it's really hard to say because usually if I'm like feeling a little grumpy, I'm like, Miss Aunt Flo is right around the corner, but I don't think that she is, which is like more concerning. Because usually, no, not that concerning.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Is this an announcement?
You would have
Could you imagine? I'm like, guys, I've had a really rough week. I'm actually
With
expecting.
child.
I think you have to have
Cheers.
You have to have sex to get pregnant though.
Okay, chill out. We're not exposing that. Maybe that's my frustration. Maybe that's where my trauma is coming from.
Honestly, that probably is it.
You just need to get railed.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well,
You know what they
Anyway,
say? Best way to get over something is to get under something else.
yeah. Oh,
Don't put that
man.
in.
Should we go? Should we go into controversial opinions?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
I have a couple. You have a few as well? Perfect. Ugly first.
Oh, okay. Wait, I wrote them down.
Okay.
Okay. My first one was what we were talking about today, and I wanted to, like in our group chat, it's how people use like ha 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 versus LOL versus LMAO when they are like laughing at something funny.
Okay.
Via text, obviously.
Yeah, because sometimes like us, we'll always say like LMAO in capital letters or like add like a bunch of letters after that when something's really funny. But then today he hit me with ha ha ha, and I was like, ew, I don't know how to feel about that because like, are you laughing? Why did you change?
It's like very contextual.
Yeah.
And it matters, and you need to know
exactly
the sequence.
I literally said ha 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 ha, like a bunch of ha ha ha's, and she wrote ew.
I don't like that.
And I was like, what? And then Brie was like, she doesn't like that. I'm like, I'm sorry?
You can really come up with a chart for each friend that's like this, because I feel like I know the difference between yours too. Like sometimes you'll just like, haha, what I said.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Every once in a while I'll get like I'll get a ha ha ha. But it's like, for you, it's mostly LMAO, like not underscore, lowercase, or LMAO uppercase. And then I'm like, yeah.
So what do
That's when I know I got him.
What do you mean when you say those things? Like, are you like, what is the level of laughter?
Okay. I feel attacked.
I want both of you guys to answer though.
Well, I actually don't know the science behind it, but if I really think about it, I would never just send a lowercase LOL by itself. I don't think. That would be weird, right?
It's like a sassy.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
you really think I'm going to go there? LOL.
LOL is usually like a mid-sentence or at the end of a sentence.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I think if I just send you a LMAO or like LMAO, that shit was actually really fucking funny.
Okay.
Why did I say ha 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 to you? Maybe it wasn't that funny to me.
It's okay. That's what I assumed.
Maybe, but I don't remember what it was.
We were talking about. Oh, I don't know if I can.
Oh shit! I don't know. What
That was what it was.
I even like when she like called me out for it. I was like, but that's like actually laughing, and I even sent a voice note. I was like, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I didn't literally mean, because I was like, do you actually say ha 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 when you're actually laughing? And he was like, well, yeah, like when you laugh, you say ha ha ha. And I was like, no, like I don't mean it literally like you say ha ha ha, but like, am I making sense here?
No.
But I guess ha 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 ha. It's something's funny, but it's not like LMAO worthy.
Okay, so it was like a little.
But see, for me, I never use LMAO.
Really?
So like, ha 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 is it. Or if I'm like in a goofy, silly mood, I'll go LOL.
Okay.
I do that LOL sometimes too.
Yeah.
But that's also like.
Did you take that from me?
Maybe.
Did you copy me?
I dated someone who would get mad if I said LMAO
Why?
Weird.
because they're like, that's weird.
Could you use the word ass? Could you not curse in their presence?
No, it wasn't that. It was just like
Oh.
the acronym was just like weird. LMFAO was weird to them.
Oh, I think they're weird.
What?
I think that's a fucked up thing for them.
So I have PTSD. So thank you
Yeah.
guys for bringing that up.
Yeah.
I feel like ha 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 all lowercase to me sounds like that wasn't really funny. Try again. Like, and then same with lowercase LOL. Uppercase LOL to me is like a, and then LMAO is like.
Well, the people who are listening don't know what you just did, but she looked crazy. So go to YouTube and subscribe while you're at it and watch that.
Yeah.
This is so stupid, but I love that.
That was my controversy.
That's such a valid question, though.
No, it is.
Well, and it's different for each person.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, exactly.
that's like a new relationship thing, both friends and significant other, where you're like, wait, what is? I feel that way when I'm like talking on Hinge. I'm like, are we using LOL? Is it like a haha? Is that going to make me look childish,
Yeah.
or am I just like being straightforward, sarcastic,
like,
funny,
if
or
you
like
do the capital LMAO? Sometimes it's like, wait a minute, you're a little too much.
Yeah.
because like for us, it's just like LMAO. That was really funny, but for other people, you're like, okay, well,
wow,
that's
there's
funny.
so much politics around how you haha.
It's a science.
Imagine your grandparents listening to this conversation, or just imagine ourselves listening to this conversation in like 40 years from now.
No,
It's just not. This is like not going to make sense. It's going to be like beep boop bop beep beep boop, beep boop, bop. Like it makes no sense.
We actually don't verbally communicate anymore at all.
it's like what
Yeah.
English sounds like to non-English speakers. Like score.
All right, let me change the subject. Okay, I have
was a good
one. Yeah, that was a good one. Okay, so next I have one that I wrote down myself, but I've also seen a lot of this same opinion shared, especially on TikTok. And it's that TikTok should be banned. And that's because of all of the misinformation that you find on there. And I mean, as much as I love TikTok, I spend a lot of time on TikTok. It's such a fun place. I do learn a lot of like stupid little things, but I do think it is a very, very dangerous place because there are so many people spewing out information about politics, about war, and especially kids. They take that in and like they just take that in as a fact, and no one like really does like the next extra step in research to fact check it. Then you just like you go into the comments and it's like facts. It's like you actually don't know that that's a fact. You're just agreeing with it because it aligns with whatever you already kind of think. So I find it to be a very, very dangerous place.
But I also feel like that's just the internet. Like before TikTok, it was Facebook.
That's
and
true.
Like if it's not going to be TikTok, it's going to be somewhere because
Instagram.
it's just the internet. And that's just because we live in a world full of idiots.
Yeah.
And that's who just like don't know the difference and are being fed, don't understand how algorithms work, and that they're being fed more of what their own idea is.
Totally. I think TikTok specifically, though, is because TikTok targets the youngest generation, you know, Gen Z and younger. I forgot who's younger than Gen Z. There's another one, but
Gen X.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
or is it Gen something like that? I don't think it's Gen X. I think Gen X is older than us. But whatever. The Gen Z and younger, that's like their main social media. And also, TikTok is a place where you don't have to be following people to find yourself on someone's live or like content. Whereas like Instagram, you have to follow the people. You really have to search for the content for the most part. Of course, there's like the explore page. And same with Facebook. You have to be friends with people. So I feel like TikTok is just a little bit different. But yeah, I would say like as much as I love TikTok, I would probably be for getting rid of it because I think it's dangerous.
Really?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I disagree.
I find myself getting so like annoyed and heated at some of the things I see, and like it's mainly the comment section because it's just like so many.
But
You should like stop watching
I was
these in their
gonna say,
entirety
you're
so they stop
purposely-
showing up on your feed.
Yes, you're creating that algorithm for yourself.
Maybe.
I love TikTok. That is like my safe haven. I feel like I learned so much. It's like when I just want to, you know, like get away, I'll just scroll on TikTok. But there is like that controversial opinion that I just got sprayed by that thing again.
I have like an air freshener that spews out every 30 minutes.
Oh my god, my whole face smells like it. I'm
so
gonna
sorry.
break out in a rash.
I could just move it.
Yeah, you probably should. But there was the controversial opinion that like TikTok is making people dumb because essentially we're like losing our attention span because everything is so fast and like the information is so fast and you can just skip over videos, you can fast forward videos, you can do all that stuff. So we're like losing our attention span. Especially like younger generation too, just like scrolling on there, and then it's like all the makeup videos. And I will say too, I have been so influenced on TikTok. Like I have spent so much money on TikTok, and you have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Another reason why I should be banned.
Exactly. And some of the stuff sucks. Like some of the stuff that I bought, I'm like, this doesn't even work. Like it was fake, false advertisement. But I always, every single time I have a fact, I'm always like, so this thing I saw on TikTok today, like, oh, I learned this thing on TikTok. And that's why me and my friends call it TikTok University. Because like, baby,
Basically.
you ain't got to pay no loans at the TikTok University. So I'm going to keep it.
Preach. Well, now I also just learned like the full power of Chat GPT from TikTok.
Oh,
They're like,
yeah.
no. Like, listen to all of these prompts that you can ask Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And I have been nonstop just like asking, like Chat GPT right now is my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned so much.
I just want to say we actually have an episode. Look, back to your thought about how like you speak in TikTok. Basically, we literally have an episode called "Have you seen that TikTok?" Because we do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
And also back to my whole thing about misinformation.
And also back to me.
Back to me about misinformation. We do that here on the podcast too. Because remember when we killed Tim McGraw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So touche.
And also back to Chelsea's ChatGPT comment. I was gonna ask you guys how you felt about like the new AI and everything that's going on and how it's progressing, but I didn't know if that was gonna be a little too nerdy for you guys.
So I actually went on a date with a guy who worked in tech, and he kind of scared me a little bit because
Really?
he was like, I don't think you understand like the levels that people will take
Yeah.
AI. Like, especially, he said, just think about the election alone. He goes, there are going to be AI bots that are so knowledgeable and kind of based on what you said that will go on and like be people on social media and will be able to like respond to comments and do it. He's like, so you will have no idea what is real and what is fake.
That too. And I also did like a little quiz where you have like two images and you have to see what, like you have to pick which one is real, which one is AI. And I couldn't tell the difference. Like that is scary.
It is really scary. Like, well, one, like there have been like these fake AI images of celebrities nudes. Like Taylor Swift had to like sue someone because there were like there were nudes of her that looked very real, but they weren't. Someone else too. And then just recently, like this week or like the last couple of weeks, I feel like Kate Middleton has been like a big topic of discussion. Where is she? What is she up to? Like no one's really heard from her in a while. And just like maybe like yesterday or the day before, one of the big news outlets, like the BBC or something, like, a reputable news outlet posted a picture of her with her kids. And then like an hour later, they had to put out another like press release saying like, please if you have posted this for your news site, please take it down because we have been informed that this is fake. It was an AI image. Someone gave them an AI image of Kate Middleton. It was like from her Vogue cover and like they made it look like something else. It's like, it's getting that. Like,
That's crazy.
The way that they knew that it was AI too, it was so minuscule.
Yep.
Like you literally have to sit there and like dissect the photo.
Yeah.
Nobody could, like just a naked eye, you would never be able to tell, which is so, I don't like that. It's weird to me.
Yeah. I feel like it can get really extreme, but like, I don't know, for like, I work in like events and it's very like tech heavy, and they tried to tell us that like we shouldn't be scared because really AI is supposed to like make our lives more efficient, but it's like there are always going to be people out there that are going to ruin it for the rest of us. So I don't think we have to be that worried, but that's what I mean about like the misinformation on TikTok. It's like you really have to have, I think they have to put even more of an emphasis on like critical thinking skills when it comes to education. Like we really have to be a better critical thinkers because I don't think a lot of us are.
We need to be book smart and street smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
No.
I feel like there are not as many. What percentage what percentage of just the United States would you say is a critical thinker?
20%.
Yeah.
Maybe
20% maybe. But
and I count myself in there some days not.
Facts.
True. All right, I think we got a little too serious. Do you have another one that's as stupid as your last one?
Ugly people should not live.
That's what I said, come prepared with a controversial opinion. And then I responded again. I was like, in quotes, ugly people should not live.
No, I mean, this one is kind of serious, but I was curious to see your opinions on it. It's how out of hand tipping culture has gotten.
Tipping culture?
Tipping culture, yeah. Like
crazy.
It's so crazy because I myself feel so nervous when I'm at places. Like when I'm at the coffee shop, I'm like, wait, do I have to tip now because they're shoving the iPad in my face? Or like when I went to Sweet Green the other day, they had the iPad to tip and I was like, I mean, they technically did something for me, but like they're just doing their job. Like they were really nice. Should I tip? And like my fiance always gets on me. He's like, you don't have to tip for these things because they're just doing their job. But I feel like there's such a blurred line between tipping now where I'm like, I have no idea what to tip and how much to tip anymore. And like, what is a valid place to tip at.
And you feel guilty.
I would like the employers to like post the wage structure. Show me what the wage structure is, and then I'll decide if I should tip or not.
Well, there was a thing that I saw on TikTok University, and it was saying that people like employers need to pay their employees more and stop pitting like consumers and being like, hey, you need to pay us more now. But it's like, why is it my obligation to pay you more now?
That's what I was gonna say. Like I totally get what you just said, Chelsea. But then it's like, then you're putting it on me to pay the rest of their like, livable.
But I
wage.
would say, but that would show a sense of shame on the employer. If they had to post, I pay these people minimum wage or less because they get tips or whatever, then it's like, okay, well, number one, you're a shitty employer.
Yeah.
And they would be exposed for that.
Yeah.
Rather than like, oh, I feel like I need to tip you. I'm like,
But it's like
sis,
such
you can work somewhere
unnecessary.
else.
It's such unnecessary places, and even in Starbucks too, they'll like shove it out the window.
Yep.
I'm like literally expecting in a couple of years you're at the doctor's office and they're like,
Seriously,
It'll be $35,000, and this is 20%.
and can you just sign this for me? Thanks.
Yeah.
Just like the
I've been at like, I forgot the name of the store, but it's just like a store of like things. It's not like, it's no service. It's not like you're getting a haircut, you're getting your nails done, you're getting food. It's just like a store where you can like buy things, and they have. I've even seen it at grocery stores now.
no.
Tip, and it's like, that's like out of
It's
hand.
crazy.
That's out of hand.
And it also sucks because you don't want to feel like
You feel like a
you're
dick when
cheap.
you're like, no tip.
no tip.
I
It
always
does.
feel so guilty, and that's the worst of it is the guilt that you feel from not tipping. But it's like you really didn't have to tip. It's okay. Like I was a server for so many years, and that I can like you have to tip at a restaurant,
Yes.
or at a bar.
Yeah.
But like if you're literally just going to Chipotle and all they're doing is this, and then like you have to tip for that, like
But even
what?
that though, the restaurant thing, that's just like our society, and that's been, ingrained in our brains.
True.
Like it shouldn't be like that. But like we all grew up and we know this as a society, specifically in America, that you have to tip servers. And if you go deeper into that, it's because we know that they get paid $2, $3, $4 an hour.
Yeah.
But that's not right.
But also not
At
many
all.
people know that too.
Yeah.
So people think
Yeah,
like,
there are people like that don't know that.
yeah, like I remember I had to tell a couple of friends of mine, like, you know what a server wage is? It's literally like $5 an hour. And they're like, what? I thought it was minimum wage.
That's like the most you'll get is $5
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah, sometimes it's less.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know that. And then now we're just, I don't know where the tables turned, like what's going on. So
I think everyone should work in the service industry for
Oh,
at least
100%.
1 year of their life.
100%.
I feel like it's like, screw the army.
it's
Like,
humbling.
You can see when people haven't.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can see. And not
yes.
like I have some friends that aren't dicks by any means, but have never worked in it. And it's just like, you can just
The people who like complain at the restaurant. Oh my God, my food could literally be charred brown and I would be like,
Yeah.
this is delicious.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
20%.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
20%.
Actually, I'll tip you more
The
for
waiter
Yeah.
could spit on me and I would be like, 20%. Thank you so much.
It's
If
not
you're
even-
having a bad day,
Yeah,
I get it.
Seriously.
It's not even the complainers. It's like you can tell people when they ask for things, every single time the server comes around, if you have something to ask for, it's like that's also a sign because
Oh.
it's like if you worked in that industry, you know to ask for everything at once.
Yeah.
Get
because-
in one trip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Do you guys like put your plates and everything? Like, do you
Oh, for
put
sure.
it all on top of each other?
Which I also, maybe this is controversial, but I found out there was some kind of like, so it was an etiquette class, and it is poor etiquette to stack your plates and
heard
like
that.
put everything together.
Oh,
Just
really?
like crazy.
But some servers are really appreciative. They'll be like, "Oh, thank you so much." But
They're
then,
always appreciative.
yeah.
right? So why is it bad etiquette? Well, I also heard that it's bad etiquette to like push your plate when you're done eating.
Oh.
Like it's rude to just like push your plate away. So maybe that's why. But I was always really appreciative as a server. Like I would be like, "Thank you so much," because then you have to like sit there and like grab everything in front of everyone.
Yeah.
all the wrappers and stuff. But I don't know.
Well, I don't know if etiquette class is teaching you how to eat at like Chili's.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Put your
true.
zinger basket back over there, baby.
Well, and I think of every like fine dining experience I've ever been to, and it is very much like they drop off a plate,
Oh,
they pick up a plate,
yeah.
they drop off a plate. There's nothing to stack.
No, you're not going to do that at like a fine
Yeah.
dining establishment for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have a really stupid controversial opinion that
Great.
it's really stupid, and it's also like I feel like it's like controversial opinion 101, but like somehow we just like haven't ever ask this question to ourselves, and it is, and really think about it. Would you rather be extremely smart or extremely good looking? Which means you don't have the other. I actually like was thinking about it last night, and I have like a really hard time like really deciding.
Ignorance is bliss.
Right? Right?
That is true.
Like,
That
do you
is
know how much
true.
life is so much easier? And I can tell you from firsthand. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I still haven't decided, but I'm saying like I totally understand the picking extremely beautiful.
I feel like smart people are like miserable.
You could be really smart and like still be poor and like not make anything out of your life. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be hot.
I'm gonna
But
be
I guess
good looking.
same thing with being hot though. You could also be poor and
I could be a model. Am I
A struggling
Am I
model.
hot?
There's always pretty privilege, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're always getting free
I'll get
drinks
an
at the
agent.
bar.
Maybe they take advantage of me a little bit.
Yeah.
It's fine. Not that way.
That's exactly where my mind went to.
same, because we also have an episode that's called "Please Objectify Us." So it's not really matching up, babe.
I think I would say good looking.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know. Like, what do you? That sounds so like stupid of me to be like, what are you going to use your intelligence for? But like, I don't care.
Which is kind of crazy because as soon as you like started talking and said, could you be like extremely smart? I think I was like, I'm going to be extremely smart. I already know.
Yeah.
But then you were like, you won't have the other. I was like, wow.
So you'll be ugly as fuck.
But like, you're really smart.
So like, just be you.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been funny if I didn't already say that I'm.
But
so
then I
beautiful.
guess it would depend on also, am I a girl or a boy?
No, you're you.
Yeah. No.
Oh, really? Would it change?
A really ugly girl that's really smart.
Oh, 100%.
Or a really smart boy
Yeah.
that is ugly. Yeah.
That's
it's drastically
interesting.
different.
It's a man's world.
That's so interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I would
Man
rather
privilege.
be. I would rather be a smart guy.
Yeah.
Yes, if I got to be ugly, at least I'm smart. But
Yeah.
That's true because those ugly smart guys be pulling really beautiful.
Yeah.
women.
And if you're really smart, you're probably got some wit on you too. Smart, funny guys. Yeah. Can get
Wow.
any bitch they want.
Okay, I was like nervous to even ask the question because I was like, this is stupid and it's gonna be like a no-brainer, but it really wasn't.
no,
Yeah.
I had to think about it for a minute, but then I'm like, no, ignorance is bliss, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
I had one that I wanted to talk about too.
Great.
It's kind of like, I don't think it's controversial, but it's something that I have been thinking about a lot. And it's how different like American culture is versus like European culture in the sense that we live for the weekends and during the week, everything kind of stops except for work. And it's like the weeks are made for work and then the weekends are made for leisure or whatever. And I am trying so hard to cut that out because it sucks.
sucks.
It really sucks because I'm always so miserable during the week because all I'm looking forward to is more work every single day. And I don't have anything to look forward to other than the weekend. And then the weekend goes by so fast. And then you're back to the same thing. But in Europe, it's people are out on the streets every day after work. They're hanging out with their friends. They're grabbing drinks with coworkers, doing whatever. It's like, it's okay. We have a bedtime. Like we got to wake up for work in the morning, but it's fine. Like we value our connection with people more than like sitting at home and getting ready for the day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
It's so true. Like I have to remind myself, I don't really do much, especially Monday through Thursday, but like sometimes I have to constantly remind myself, like, Brian, you can do something. during the week.
Yes.
You can, and it's not going to hurt you.
yes, we're so conditioned to thinking we can.
But Europe has it so right. Like, I think like most businesses like shut down like midday.
Yep.
So like everyone goes home for like lunch or something like
Yeah.
that, for like an hour or two. And like most businesses are completely closed on Sunday. They really take like that downtime serious. And yeah, people just like live.
They value community
Yeah.
more. And that was something that I saw that I'm not going to say on TikTok again, but it was saying that their life expectancy is longer because they have so much community. Everyone's together and they're hanging out and they're you know, being with people constantly. Whereas, especially now that everything is remote, like I work from home every day and I sit there sometimes like at home and then I'm like, okay, now what? Time to sit on the couch some more now with my laptop closed this time. Like, woo, riveting stuff. So I've been trying to say yes more to doing things during the week and trying to like bring myself out more during the week because I'm always like, okay, like bed by 9, you know, and I never want to go out or do anything during the week, but I have to remind myself that you can.
For real.
Y'all can go out
during the week.
During the week.
I actually like to have something to look forward to during the week. Like I probably wouldn't if we're like, oh, we're just going to go to a bar. And I'd be like, well, maybe I'll come. Maybe I won't.
Yeah.
Depends on if they have food. But I think if like I had something set up during the week, like a concert or something, I'd be much more willing to go. But see, I'm different, and we've talked about this, but I'm different in that I don't work from home, and I think that's a difference, especially like for him.
For sure.
Friday nights, he's like, I'm ready. Laptop's closed.
Yeah.
I'm popping out. And for me, I'm like, I've spent Monday through Friday.
You're right.
With people nonstop. I'm like, Friday night, I'm going home.
True.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But to your point, I shouldn't be that way.
But think about it. So let's say somebody says, oh, there's a concert on Wednesday night and then there's one on Saturday. You're more inclined to be like, let's go to the one on Saturday because it's the weekend. But like, why not just go to the one on Wednesday?
Why not?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Take a crazy chance.
Exactly. Take a crazy chance.
I just realized and remembered you two are both Saturday girlies. Like
I love Saturdays.
You never come out Friday night.
No.
Never come out Friday night.
No. And I hate that about me.
Yeah.
I'm always like, it's Friday. I worked a long day. I just need to get ready for Saturday. And I'm like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Like,
come get loose on a Friday night with me.
I'm coming to Minors.
She does it sometimes, but you're definitely a Saturday girly too. But it makes sense. It makes sense.
If you make me commit in advance, then I'll be there. Yeah. But if you
just have to guilt trip her and she'll be there.
If you ask me Friday night, hey Chels, I'm like, probably not.
With that being said, let's hit the bar.
Friday night. I'm
right now
this weekend. But
right now. Right now.
Let's go to
dinner.
We have a full bender.
Let's make them believe that we're about to do that, okay?
We have.
All right, I think that's a good time to say goodbye.
We're done.
That's it. Any final words, Stephanie?
Thank you guys for having me. This was fun.
Aw, we
Get
love
lit.
having
Go
you.
out on the weekdays.
I should be the new co-host, but anyway. I'm just kidding.
It's a threesome now. Season 4, it's the three
it's
part.
dumb, broke, and beautiful.
All right, catch you on the next one.
Bye.